High speed or off-road riding, or really any advanced riding technique on an electric scooter, is actually not too different from normal riding. If you understand the basics, any advanced techniques are just an extension of those. Let's walk through what you need to know and what you need to do in order to handle riding at just about any speed and on any terrain. I'm going to walk through these tips and techniques on my T-Wing Mars XT, which is capable of speeds up to 55 miles an hour. And I suppose now is as good of a time as any to mention that scooters are particularly dangerous at these high speeds because your center of gravity is much higher than a motorcycle or e-bike. Even small bumps can send you flying, so ride at your own risk, always gear up properly, and slowly work your way up to the higher speeds. Don't dive in recklessly if you don't have proper experience. Before you ride, you need to make sure that your scooter is set up properly. Obviously, the tires need to be properly inflated, and you should double check that things like the handlebars are bolted down properly. Things that might feel properly tightened at a standstill or at lower speeds can come loose and move on you when you're riding at the higher speeds when the forces are greater. If you have adjustable suspension, taking the time to dial it in for your weight will help keep the tires planted on the ground at high speeds when going over bumps and potholes. Adjusting your rebound dial towards the slower setting will prevent you from getting bounced off your scooter. Take some time to adjust this while you ride and as you work your way up to the higher speeds. Okay, let's start with riding stance. Faster scooters offer more riding platform space, and you'll want to take full advantage of that. Your front foot should be as far forward on the platform as you can get it. This is where your weight will shift when braking, and you need to be ready to slam the brakes at a moment's notice when traveling at high speed. Your front foot should be perpendicular to the handlebars or at most very slightly angled. Your foot should not be sideways like it would be on a skateboard. Your shoulders need to be parallel to the handlebars. Your rear foot should be as far back on the platform as is comfortable. This is where your weight will shift during acceleration. If you have a rear tail, then you'll want to take advantage of it. The rear foot can take a few different positions and will often shift positions while you're riding. For straight line riding, having your rear foot on the tail at the same angle as your front foot will give you the most stability for accelerating and braking. A more angled foot on the tail or flat on the platform can offer a bit more control when turning. I like to take an approach in between these two, slightly angling my rear foot and staggering my feet with the front slightly to one side of the platform. This offers a good balance of front to back stability and side to side control. The rest of your body should be in a loaded position, meaning knees bent and arms slightly bent. No matter how good your suspension is, your body needs to act as additional suspension. It's important to avoid the handlebars being pulled out of your hands on a bump, and you do this by making sure you're not locking your knees or elbows. As I mentioned, once you're out on the scooter, one of the best pieces of advice I have is to work your way up to the higher speeds. Instead of cranking up the P settings and setting it to the highest riding mode and going straight into dual motor mode, start with more gentle acceleration and cap your top speed using the riding modes. If you've never heard the term P settings, these are kind of secret settings that you can adjust by going into a different menu on your scooter display. These settings can adjust things like your top speed, how aggressively you accelerate, how aggressively the electronic braking kicks in. A lot of these things can be adjusted in an app if your scooter came with an app, but if you don't know how to get to those P settings, you can often find that in the manual for your scooter or in reviews on YouTube. When you first start trying the higher acceleration settings, really exaggerate your forward and backwards movement. What I mean by that is when taking off, lean way forward over the handlebars to offset the forces of acceleration and to keep the front wheel from spinning. You can't get thrown off the back of the scooter if you're leaned super far forward. I still do this on faster scooters that I haven't ridden before because sometimes I don't know how aggressive the acceleration is going to be. As you ride your scooter more and more and get used to the fastest acceleration that it offers, you'll get a feel for how much you need to lean. Once you've accelerated up to your desired speed, remember to settle back into that loaded position we talked about so you're ready for any bumps or potential braking. Like with acceleration, really exaggerate your body position when you're first getting used to braking. Fast scooters should have really good brakes, and it might throw you off how quickly they can come to a stop. Getting into a low, slightly reclined position will allow you to stop quickly and not be thrown forward over the bars. You really can't overdo this. Some scooters will actually require a position like this every time you brake from its highest speeds. Unlike a motorcycle, you have much more control over where your weight is distributed, so you don't have to worry as much about locking up the rear brake. However, you should always be applying both brakes and keeping slightly more pressure on the front brake. Locking up the rear brake can cause the scooter to slide out from under you, but if you're leaned back properly and crouched, this is a lot less likely. If you don't already have your handlebars set up this way, move your brake levers to a position where you can brake with the least amount of fingers necessary. Ideally, this would be 1 for light braking and 2 for aggressive braking. Using all 4 fingers to brake is not the worst thing ever, but you generally want to keep as many fingers on the handlebars as possible when you're riding a scooter, because even one hand coming off can lead to disaster. For turning and cornering of a scooter at high speeds, it's kind of opposite to the front and back leaning. Side to side movement is actually amplified at high speeds, so you need to remember to keep it subtle. Leaning, rather than turning the handlebars, and using your feet to alter the weight distribution of the scooter is more important than ever when you're riding fast. Lean your body to the opposite side of your turn. You'll want to keep the weight over the wheels as much as possible. Avoid leaning too far back or too far forward so that both wheels stay firmly planted on the ground through your turn. When entering a corner, it is both safer and faster to brake early. Do all of your braking in a straight line before you begin your turn. As you ride more, you'll get a feel for how fast you can take different turns, but at first, even if you're comfortable at high speed in a straight line, brake more than you think you'll need. You'll get a feel for how high speed cornering feels and a feel for all the timings, but until then, approach your turns with extra caution. Remember how much power you have at the wheels and avoid mashing the throttle when accelerating out of a turn. With how many scooter brands have switched to sine wave controllers, subtle throttle control should be easier, but at first wait to complete your turn before you begin accelerating again. Accelerating too aggressively while the scooter is mid-turn can cause the wheels to break loose and the scooter to slide out from under you. Obviously, as you get more comfortable with your scooter, you will be able to know when you can apply the power and how much power you can apply through your turn. The principles of counter steering apply here, and while it should come naturally if you have experience on a scooter, remember that your front wheel will kind of kick out slightly in the opposite direction of your turn when you lean the handlebars in the direction you want to turn. One of the best ways to practice all these techniques is to find an empty parking lot and slowly scale up your speed. Carving back and forth through a parking lot, accelerating and braking rapidly, and getting a general feel for the scooter at higher speeds will get you comfortable quickly. This will also allow you to get a feel for the throttle and brakes, as knowing how much acceleration or braking you're going to get at different speeds and with different amounts of aggression is key to maximizing speed, efficiency, and also safety. When it comes to off-road riding, all of the same principles apply, but here are a few key things to keep in mind. Don't ride off-road with slick tires. Now, this should be obvious, but you're going to have a miserable time without knobby tires, and even with the proper tires, finding traction on a scooter can be tricky in a lot of scenarios. When riding in a straight line, I like to keep my weight more centered towards the back wheel of the scooter while I'm riding in dirt. This is for a couple reasons. One, you run into a lot of unexpected bumps and dips while you're going off-road, and this helps the front of the scooter stay light and nimble over anything you run into, and it also makes sure that you don't go over the handlebars if you run into something that you're not expecting. And two, your back wheel having traction is the most important thing so the scooter doesn't slide out from under you. A lot of the time I'll also turn off dual motor mode and only use the back wheel if I find the front wheel is spinning out too much and not contributing a lot of power. As mentioned, traction is hard to come by when off-roading. Keeping your body over the top of the scooter as much as possible is key, so your turns might feel slightly different than with street riding. Really leaning the opposite way of your turns and doing the majority of your turning by leaning the scooter using the handlebars will maximize traction. Careful use of the throttle and potentially using a lower riding mode will reduce wheel spin as well. Off-road riding is a full body activity, even more than normal high-speed riding. Let your knees soak up as many of the bumps and elevation changes as possible. Wide handlebars will also allow extra control and a nice bend in the elbows to help with soaking up impacts. If you plan to be doing a lot of off-roading, upgrading to an extra wide set of handlebars can be a great option. Off-road technique can also apply to larger obstacles when street riding, like speed bumps, and allow you to take them at a super high speed. This goes back to that loaded riding position. You can absorb the majority of the bump with your body, staying low and allowing the scooter to come up to you with bent knees and elbows. Keep your weight slightly back to avoid tipping the scooter forward. On bigger bumps and at higher speed, you can pull up slightly on the handlebars and you can get a bit of air. Like with all other techniques in this video, start slow and work up your speed as you get more comfortable. As with anything, advanced riding techniques can't be mastered by watching a YouTube video. Time on your scooter is the absolute best way to get comfortable, and staying within your comfort zone and only pushing yourself small amounts at a time is the best way to stay safe, have fun, and get used to more advanced riding. Thanks for watching this video. If you're looking for a great fast electric scooter, I have a ton of videos covering the best high-speed scooters on the market right now, and my video on the best scooters from $1,000 to $2,000 is probably the best place to start. I'll link that on screen right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.